David Shaw, thanks for coming on, brother.
Thanks, man. Nah, it's good to be back again. 18 months has passed since we last sat down and did this with the boys. So yeah, it's just thanks for the opportunity again. Lots changed since then, so ready to dive into it.
Yeah, bro, definitely. You know, you're the reason I'm doing this really today, videography and even podcasting, you could say. Like I remember probably, like we didn't talk about this in the last potty, but in high school we knew of each other, but didn't know of each other personally.
Yeah.
And then it was that Wildlands Festival, like just what the odds, bro. I say it was God that brought us together, like in that moment. But yeah, when you came up to me, I was like, fuck, I didn't even know you knew me, bro.
I literally, man, it was so funny at that festival because like obviously COVID had just happened and everything as well. I'm pretty sure that was a COVID super spreader event. Which is funny because I got COVID after it. But anyway, yeah, I remember pulling up your Instagram and like, I hadn't seen you in a few years. I was like, I have to check that this is this bloke before I actually go up to him. I was a bit like, a little bit drunk, like a little bit out of my brain, but yeah, I just literally pulled you aside and then I think that's history from there, man.
Well, yeah, bro. Like I think from there we were just talking back and forth on a minor level, and then again came down to Gold Coast with Dom. And it was another festy run, but I remember from that weekend, bro, like we were just talking, and I think it's one of those scenarios where when you're, say, a novice, you look at everything as crazy.
Yeah.
Like even the idea of being a videographer is like mental, bro, and you're just doing it. And you put it in such like a simple explanation format. Like you can just do what you want, bro. Like if you want to be a videographer, like obviously it's not as easy. It's just like videographer tomorrow. But like you honestly gave me that insight of the life of living on Gold Coast, which I always wanted. Not only that, but like working for yourself. And then from there, I think the hustle began with the podcast, which is more of just for fun. But that podcast led to getting my first clients as a videographer. And then obviously you even a mentor for me that for a time period there of just getting me through the little baby steps and to the point now that, you know, things are going well. And it's one of those things that, you know, you can say thank you a million times to the person that got it all going, but you were that person, bro. They got it going for me. So
yeah, I think it's really important, like try and stay obviously as humble as I can, but just really important I just like helping people. And I think that was the biggest thing for me. I fortunately had some really great mentors in the space, not only in videography, but like business coaching and that sort of thing and dealing with clients. And I mean, I always had someone in my corner whenever I wanted to ask a question. And I was like, fuck, like I've been so blessed with opportunity. And if I can help anyone in any way, I think that's what I will always make time for someone.
I think that's just like, we were having coffee yesterday, bro. And like, it's like I said to you, it's just the family you're from, which is another blessing. Like just having those foundations, and probably at the time you're even thinking like, you know, we always think that, you know, our scenario is like bad for these reasons. But when you get older, I've found personally that you just become so appreciative of it. And I find in your scenario, that's one of those things you may appreciate a lot more now.
Yeah, 100%, man. I think that when you strip back the humility and you go like, okay, these people have helped me get to where I've got to, like, how can I help someone else get to that spot as well? Like, I really think that's just like, honestly, man, that's like human connection at its finest. And I just think that if we all work together or everybody helps out someone every day, like the world just operates in like such a better place, and it'll just become a better place, man. And like, that's something I want to like try and move forward to do. Someone recently asked me like what my purpose was. And I really think it's just to help people. And I know I've also been lucky enough to be in spots to help people, but I'm still not where I want to be. And somebody said something to me recently, which was, you have to be selfish to be selfless. So I even said this to mum yesterday. I was like, Mum, like, I just want to make it and then just help people. Like, it's the only thing I really want to do. Like, I reckon that's like my purpose. But I think, yeah, it's what it all comes back to, man. It's just like the whys in your life. And like, it feels good just to help people, especially I know I do have a lot of time for people and I try and see the best in everyone. as well. So, and I know I probably get the message probably like 3 or 4 times a year saying, hey, like what camera should I get? Or like, how can I shoot stuff like you? Or how can I start doing what you do because it looks sick? And I try and help people as much as I can. But I mean, I think for you were probably one of the only people who really pulled the trigger and said like, all right, let's actually do this.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, I don't want to go into at all like my life story in that, but I feel like I just had that personality where I just don't procrastinate.
Yeah.
And despite people's thoughts, I just do it anyway.
So funny, man. I'm such a procrastinator. Like, and this is something that obviously, this is probably me sharing something like from the outside in, like, yeah, I probably look like a hustler and like I do a lot, but procrastination is still one of the biggest things that I still struggle with. And it's just like getting that, once you take that first step, yeah, it becomes easier. But if you're overwhelmed and things like that, I really, really struggle to make a start, to the point where now, like, I found that if I actually like write a list and I can physically tick things off, and like I get that tick beside it and I go like, holy shit, like it feels good to tick something off. That's like how I've sort of started to overcome my procrastination. But yeah, like you said, you were probably like one people that said like, let's get after it and let's go for it. And that's probably why I did invest a lot of time into you. And like, I always have time for you. I still have time for you. Like every time you call or whatever.
Yeah. Appreciate that, bro. I mean, it to you, like, I think for a lot of people that are reaching out to you, like, even when I looked at you, bro, you were like on the Gold Coast, you're from Gladstone, which I feel like is a lot of country people's dream, is to like escape the small town life and get to the big city.
Yeah.
And you were doing that and doing videography. So you like tick both my boxes, and ticks a lot of people's boxes, bro. So
I genuinely am very, very blessed. Like, and that is something that I will say over and over and over again. Like, I've never been shy of opportunity, and there's always been opportunity for me, which I've been like forever grateful for. And that honestly comes from people like my cousin, people like who have been there, or people who are well established in a space that are giving me opportunity. But yeah, man, like when I moved to Gold Coast, it was on good terms, but like I obviously parted ways with someone who I was living with, and then it became me, and it was like just me. And like, I've definitely built like everything that I have now. And like, I've built my relationships, I've built like business for myself. I've learned, like, I'll be humble and say like, I've learned a lot of lessons. Yeah. But, yeah, like it definitely wasn't an easy time at the start. And like, that's in everything. I think it's just, it wasn't like, I'll tell you, it was not easy at the start. And like, as you probably know, it's a lot of free work. It's a lot of like people turning you down, a lot of people placing trust in you. It's a lot of over delivering. It's a lot of, yeah, just like stupid hours, big edits, underpaid, like all that sort of thing, until you really establish yourself. But yeah, like I said, back to the opportunity thing, I always feel like I was blessed with opportunity, even though, going back to that again, it wasn't on good terms why I moved to the place that I currently live and have lived for 5 years. But you know what, man, like I said, I shared something on my close friends the other day. I was like, sometimes you just got to smile and get on with life. And yeah, like one door closes, usually another opens.
What was that first opportunity for you, do you feel, that was shown to you that you took action on?
So my first opportunity really came, well, when somebody who was hiring, like Jake, the guy I used to work for, was hiring, and he like really gave me a shot. Like I said, I butchered. If you ever go onto my profile and you see like my last post working for Jake, it's just, I butchered so much shit, man. And like, he was forever like, it's all right, man. Like, we'll fix it. We'll do this or do that, do this. And I think just somebody giving me that opportunity, and for someone to go, hey, you can do this and you can do it better, or hey, you should do it like this, or this might help you to do it in a better way, really showed me how to do things. And like, I think working for somebody and sitting as that B person. So I think a lot of people talk about the A and the B, like there's an A person who runs the business and there's always like someone below them. I think sitting as that B person was really important for me to understand, number one, like how it worked. Number two, what to do. Number three, to build my skills. And number four, honestly, just to learn everything about, like, from color correcting to ramps to editing to masking, like everything like that, man. I learned while working for someone else before I really stepped out on my own. But even from that, once again, I will say, yeah, like I'm very blessed. Like there was times where I was like, hey man, can I borrow this? Or hey, can I use this? Or can I use that? And it was always yes. It was always like, I felt like that energy that came from that person above me is the same energy that I'll try and put into someone else. And yeah, I guess that was my first opportunity. And it was, like I said, forever blessed that people like see that in me. Yeah.
I think that's maybe why now you want to give back so much, because people are giving so much to you.
I probably think so, man. I think that, yeah, like I said, I feel like everything in my life is about, like, I just want to give back somehow. And it's probably, yeah, like I've been shown it on a probably relatively small scale, and people will probably show me more opportunity or give me chances in life. But yeah, I think that it's probably why I do want to give back a lot, because people have helped me to get where I am.
We don't have to like show this part if you don't want to, but do you think also like growing up in a church household, those values you got early on shaped also the way you look at the world now and has given you your missions?
Yeah, I think so. For me, going to church and everything on the weekends when I was younger and whatnot, and having mum who was such a strong religious figure in my household really just showed me the right way to do things. And for me, it was about the philosophy behind like the readings and like how you can actually apply that to everyday life. I think, yeah, growing up in church, like, and having mum around a lot and being around that environment definitely shaped who I am. It definitely gave me a soft, compassionate side. And yeah, I'd probably pin a lot of that back to who I am today.
Period. It is hard because we were talking about like sometimes growing up in those church households where it is church every weekend and you feel like you're getting forced it when you're at a young age and you don't have as much of a choice. Like the one analogy I love talking about or referencing to is like kid getting forced to eat vegetables.
Yeah.
Like the more you force them to eat their vegetables, the less they want to eat it. The more they refrain themselves from it. So, which is kind of the opposite to me. Like, you know, grew up with Christian value household, as mum's side of the family is Christian, but we didn't go to church every weekend. It was really only when I went to Chanel, bro, that I was really actually exposed to mass and prayer. And my journey started, some may say quite late or early, but, you know, only at 21. And ever since I started going to church, bro, like that's when my life changed.
Yeah. And I think just going back to what I said before, I think it's listening and being open to hearing things about and how we can relate that to our lives. I think for me, that's how I see it. It's not a to live by, but how to live your life. Like I'm not like a diehard. Like I'm not diehard. I believe in God, believe in heaven, believe that that's where we're going afterwards. I believe in marriage. Yeah. And like obviously 10 Commandments and like everything like that's probably a big staple in my life. But it just sort of shows you how to live your life instead of actually
literally this is
living it by the book, like we spoke about the other day. I think, I personally don't live it by the book, no, but I take principles from that? Yes. Like, have I taken principles from that? Yes. And like, has it shaped my life? Yes.
And it's funny, like no one can actually say 100% they live by the book anyway, because everyone's sinners.
Yeah.
Like Jesus is the only person who's not a sinner. So one thing I definitely want to dive into more, bro, is obviously you've been on the Gold Coast for 5 years now.
Yeah.
And you do have a very, very strong ability to be able to build good connections with people with good reputations. Where did you develop that skill from, and what are the key aspects that you look at a priority when networking?
I think for me, it's so funny, man. Like, I don't go out and really chase it, which as much as I should. I think that it's just sort of happened to me just from, we go back to that opportunity. It's just sort of happened to me. I know being in a gym and meeting a lot of new people and all that sort of thing, a community functional gym was probably the first point of, if I had to ever leave somewhere and like go to a new town again, that's exactly what I'd do. I'd just go straight to like a functional community gym and just like start talking to people. Because at the end of the day, like everybody who's in there is trying to get better, and it's from all walks of life, and there's old people, young people, that sort of thing. But as far as like networking and stuff, I think I've just been very blessed to just end up where I am. And I think if you do the right thing by people, people just start to introduce you and start to recommend you. And if you just be a good person and are genuinely interested in, number one, what they have to say, number two, how you can build a relationship with this person, and number three, like how you can make this relationship last. I just think that if you're doing those things, man, it's just always going to naturally happen. I will say I'm the quiet, reserved one in the room. I will stand back and observe and look and just see what's happening in the room. I'm not the center of the attention. I'm not anything like that. And I've really been introverted my whole life. And just touching on, like last year I went sober. I'm almost 11 months sober now as well. And that's something that I've really tried to start doing, is just putting myself out there, having a conversation with someone who I wouldn't usually have a conversation with.
And without liquor confidence.
Yeah. And I think that really challenges me every day, especially because, going back, I was always an introverted person. I always just had my friend group, and I didn't really care to meet anyone outside of that. But my cousin has actually showed me so much value in networking, and just being able to have a conversation with people, or talking to random people, or being like, what do you do? Or like, what do you do? Or what do you do? And it's funny though, because you do talk to some people and then you can connect the dots. For example, this week I set a builder up with a developer, and they went and had a conversation. It's just like, hey, you should introduce this person. And I think at the end of the day, that all just comes full circle as well. If you maintain a relationship with people, and that's something that, even though I've cut off work with people, I've cut off retainers, I've cut off actually shooting for people, or saying like, hey, I don't have the capability to do this. Like, it's too much travel. It's too much, like, I'm not doing this anymore for you because of X, Y, Z. I still always make sure it's like never a sour taste in their mouth. I learned a hard lesson one day as well. I had a client who I was running ads for, and I didn't do up like a scope of work, and we didn't agree on like a scope of work. It was more like verbal text sort of thing. And anyway, it came to like the end of the first month, and I was like, hey man, like, I'm not going to be providing XYZ service anymore. After the first month, he didn't pay his ad spend. And then he was just like threatening. He's like, bro, I want my money back. You ripped me off and all this sort of stuff. So I ended up backwards like $3,000 1 month. And I was like, at the start, when I really needed money as well, when I was just out on my own, I was just saying yes to everything. But yeah, even that, I just tried to negotiate the situation and really try and see his side, explain my side. That's also something that I'm very big on is everything can be solved with a conversation. Then doesn't need to be like a logical conversation will like just outweigh emotion all the time. And that's something that I'm huge on as well. Like I will try and, especially with business stuff, like try and withdraw emotion from it. Because at the end of the day, if you get emotional and then someone else is emotional at the same time, it usually just ends up in like a fire. And you're just trying to put out fire with fire and everyone's just butting heads where it's like, hey, let's have a logical conversation. How can we get down to the bottom of this? How can we move forward together? And back to that other story. And I was like, hey, mate, like, look, I'll cop this on the chin. Like, I didn't rip you off. Here's what I was actually providing for you. Like, I ended up getting him like 30 leads in a month or whatever. And he didn't want to pay me for them. I was like, okay, you just don't understand. I'm not doing scheduling for you. Like I'm doing like an ad strategy and organic content scheduling. So it all plays a vital part together. But anyway, that's totally off topic. But yeah, like even him, I walk past him and say, hey mate, how are you? I see him around. I run past him and walk past him like, hey mate, how you doing? Like, I guess that's probably one of the biggest things is like maintaining relationships and then keeping those relationships.
I love that, bro, because one thing I'm definitely working on myself is it's definitely pride and ego. I feel like ego can get in the way of that where you have a bad business situation with someone and a lot of people can take that personal because that business scenario similar to what's happened there can maybe damage people's pride and they let that get in the way of the personal life and it's just unnecessary. And I feel like it's something that's very common these days.
This is going to be pretty funny, man. The first time I ever was content with it and was content with just being and saying, hey, it's just business is watching Thomas Shelby on Peaky Blinders. Like his mentality, man, and the way he presents himself, his demeanor, like the character he plays and portrays is just so, I just loved it. And then that's where like I got the saying, it's just business to me. It doesn't matter to me, man. And because I'm such a logical like person and I care about numbers and stuff, if the numbers aren't there, if it doesn't add up, if it doesn't, like I'm not over here getting emotional about it. Like if it's not there, then and like you need to ever like kill something in the bite, like you just say like it's just business. And literally I got that from Thomas Shelby off Peaky Blinders, man. It's like, yeah, like I said, I just love how he dealt with everything. He's like so strong-minded. And whenever there was like an upset, like obviously he does show some emotion in the show, but whenever there was an upset, he would just be like, okay. And just like remain calm and just be like, all right.
It's crazy, because a lot of people actually have people who go looking for mentors tend to look for a physical person. But a lot of time our mentors, like a lot of mentors, some of them are dead,
Yeah.
People like Sun Tzu, I think it's Sun Tzu, Albert Einstein. Like you can't physically meet them in person, but you can still read their writings, which can be a form of mentorship. And I feel like the example you gave there, like Tommy Shelby, he can still be, even though he's a fictional character, he can still be a mentor in a way because he's scripted as a person who lived once in the 1900s. So it's still relevant 100%.
Yeah. Like I said, I just loved how he presented himself, like how he presents himself and just goes about things. And just obviously he does get emotional in some places, but other places is just like, fuck it, sort it out. Or just like, okay, sort it out. It's just really strong, manly vibe that I really loved watching. Yeah. And that's probably why I go about certain things certain ways now, because I'm just like, to me, it's just business. Like it's nothing against you personally. It's nothing against me. It's just, we came to a disagreement or like there was an altercation that, all right, how can we go together and move forward from this?
Being through like the first stages of entrepreneurship and business, if you were to do it again and say you had to start from, level 0, what strategy would you take in terms of everything from how many free shoots would you do? How many clients would you do projects cheap for? What would be the steps?
This is also something that I've actually still recently spoke to. I was thinking about pivoting my niche, and really like moving what I was actually starting to shoot again and go more to the freelance, travel-y, like creative side of things where I can just like, I just get a camera and I just go, yep, sweet. This is what I see. Like, this is what I'll do. Speaking of my cousin, but I think the free to fee, model is probably one that I'd really adapt early and just be like, hey, I'd love to come shoot your business, whatever. Like, I'm just doing it to build my portfolio. And then if they like obviously don't offer them anything and just be like, hey, here's the watermarked photos. Here's all the low res ones. Like, happy to provide low res ones for you. Like, if you'd like to purchase them, I can send you through high res. Just like those sorts of things where it's like, you're not actually doing it for them. You're doing it obviously for you to build yourself. But then you're also offering them after they see your work and just be like, hey, this is what it actually looks like. Would you like to purchase it? But yeah, like if I was to start again, before I stepped out on my own, I would have definitely built a bigger bank balance. I know, especially living by yourself or living out of home is probably a hard thing, and like on the back of COVID and then working for someone else, like I don't think I really had an easy start to what I was doing. And yeah, I had some personal issues and some personal things I had to work through as well. But once you get a smell for it or a feel for it, it just feels like second nature. I would probably, like I said, build a bit better of a balance, have like a clear plan, have a clear offer or a fixed rate or something to work off at the start. So if someone says, hey, what do you do or what do you charge, whatever, you can actually have a conversation around it. Although I would, I mean, this just adds to everything, but obviously look at some sales training. And I think if you can sell, you can basically get people to, number one, believe in you, but number two, also you can get people to commit to you. I remember my business coach, I think I ran you through heaps of the stuff at the start, and it was about a discovery call, like probing questions, getting what they actually want and then just selling it back to them. Just doing those little simple things was just like game changer for me. Would I say go out and get a business coach? Like, I don't think you need to at the start.
There's plenty online doing it for free. I mean, Alex Mosey's one to drop a name instantly.
Yeah, 100%. There's so much free information out there, and there's free training. There's everything. Am I grateful for the person who helped me at the start? Like 100%, because I wouldn't have landed half the things or like got through the nitty gritty conversations, or he helped me increase my price point confidently and things like that. But yeah, I wouldn't say get a business coach. Honestly, just fucking throw stuff at a wall till it sticks. Like, man, I just can't stress that enough. Like, I'm still throwing shit at the wall, like every day. Like, I don't know, cold, like emails that go out and just get no responses. Like a little e-commerce store that I started. Like, if it's just, I'm just forever just like trying to make stuff work all the time. And like eventually it will work, or something will stick. But yeah, that would be the biggest thing, is just save some money, have a clear offer, try and define your niche as best as possible, the free to fee, and then just keep throwing stuff until something sticks, because eventually you're going to find what you like to do and what you don't like to do. And everyone always says, like, if you can do what you love, like, you never work a day in your life, but you'll still work, man. Like, as much as anyone says that, you probably know it's like, yeah, you go out there, you're networking, you're shooting, you're loving it. But then you get home and you're like, fuck, man, like I have to do so much editing. And you're like, do I enjoy the editing? Like, sometimes, like, yeah. But then other times it just feels like the biggest task ever and so overwhelming. But I mean, it's like everything, man. I guess, yeah, the highs and the lows of everything.
I think it's just Newton's law. Like, you can't expect the grand life without sacrifice.
Yeah, 100%. And I think those sacrifices come in like a daily, honestly, like a daily form when you really take it down to like a minuscule level.
It's funny because I was just talking to Jack Kavanagh about this because I hadn't seen him, the brother, obviously, that did the potty with you and myself the first time. I hadn't seen him some time and, you know, asking how I've been in that and how it's all going. And I was like, just what I said to him, bro, like, it's funny, like, I'm loving it, but it's every hour of your day, pretty much, virtually.
Yeah.
It's always on your mind every hour of the day.
That's the biggest thing that I do struggle with is I get really guilty if I have stuff there to do and I do take a break or I do walk away from it. I always say it's like such a luxury for people who can just shut off and come home and just leave a work site, leave an office, leave a job and just walk home, walk in the door and just be like, hey, I can put my feet up, I can relax.
But I also feel like I was saying again to you yesterday, like I would never, if you would offer me that, I would never take it because it's the worst drug. It's the most dangerous drug, I reckon. The 9 to 5, the clock in, clock out.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. It's an environment anyway where there's no sense of growth or future potential.
I think that was the one thing that honestly, like, and this is me sharing and being very true and very genuine, man. Like a few weeks ago, I was like, maybe I should just sell up everything and just start something else and just like get out of this game and just pivot to something. Like I am exiting a business currently and like I do have like a little bit of a buffer which would allow me to do that, and especially if I sold some like my gear and stuff. But like, yeah, like I was on the verge of quitting and I was like, fuck, like what job am I going to get? And then I looked and I was like, man, imagine me going and working for someone for 40 hours a week to earn $1,200-$1,300. And I was like, I made $1,000 in an hour the other day. And I was like if something has capped potential for me, I'm probably just going to get really comfortable and just like not strive to do it. I think that's why I was a sales rep at Telstra for a bit, just doing after COVID actually. Like I was there for 18 months. And I felt like I plateaued and just got to this spot where I was like, I'm working so hard to hit my targets. I'm hitting my targets, but I'm still not getting rewarded for this. Like it's capped potential. And then I started to find like pain points in the business and I was just like, what am I doing, man? I was just like, so I just quit. Even though I didn't have another job lined up, I was just like, I'm out of this, eh? I was just like, see you later. But the thought of like a capped earning or like that sort of thing sort of scares me now. Because for example, in this industry, you will have ups and downs. You will have busy weeks. You will have slow weeks. You will have astronomical weeks. You'll make more money than someone makes in you'll make more money in a day than someone makes in a month. Like, and then this is only on such a small scale, but once you get a sniff for that, man, I think that there's no real going back.
No.
Like once you get an actual smell for, holy shit, like I can land these deals, I can run these deals up, I can do these deals. And number one, not have to work for someone. Number two, just do time, have like my own time to do whatever I want. And number three, just literally enjoy doing it and not working for someone else. I know we spoke yesterday, you said, man, it feels criminal to sit here on a Thursday at 9 o'clock and have a coffee. Like it was a luxury for you. And yeah, like that's the thing, like working for yourself and just, yeah, I was on the verge of quitting, man. I was literally on the verge of being like, fuck this, I'm going to go work for someone and then just build something on the side. But then I was like, why? I think that's something that I've really learned this year as well is we do have highs and lows. Everyone has highs and lows. Like I said, some weeks you're astronomically busy. Other weeks you're sitting around twiddling your thumbs. You're like, what's my point? Like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I need to do something. I need to do something. I need to do something. But something that I've learned really recently is just to not self-destruct during those low periods, man. Just like take them as they come. Just keep doing your staple things. When you don't have anything on, should you be out there looking for work? Like, yeah, but don't stress about it, because if you're like, for me, people just come to me and they come and they go. Like, there's always, for some reason, like I just keep getting opportunity everywhere, like I said, which I feel very blessed for, because work just sort of finds me somehow. And then back to just do your staple things. Like when your highs are high, like, and you're doing your staple things, like you're still eating, you're sleeping well, you're working out, you're making money, like you feel good, man. But when, like, I don't know, I'm very like money driven. So when I'm not making money, like I feel like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what's my point? Like, I'm going backwards. I need to like use this money that I've got to like try and make more, and things like that. But recently I've just sort of sat with it and been like, you know what? Like it's like so fine just to just have those times and have those slow days, and just make sure you're still doing your staple things. Like I said, like make sure you're eating well, make sure you're sleeping, make sure you're exercising, make sure you're getting outside, breaking up your day and doing those things.
100, bro. I feel like a lot of times of one afternoon being on a high, you wake up the next morning and I tend to look too far in the future. So I'll be high on one afternoon because maybe I won a job or finished a job or got paid the final 50%. And then like I'm good. Like that, I've had a pay that would have made me safe for say I had $0 in the bank account, would have made me safe for like 2-3 months, I think.
Yeah.
Like just living off that, doing nothing for 3 months. And I wake up the next morning just like in fear again.
Yeah, because you're like, it's going to go back down now. It's like, I need to be doing more shit. Yeah.
But and that's the thing, I have fucking too much work that I don't get sleep as it is. And I feel like this is the one thing I've been telling myself lately. It's like everyone fucking feels like this. Whether you're an entrepreneur, an employee, a millionaire, everyone's just the same. It's just like, I've just been telling myself to grow up and just deal with it, because I've seen a quote. It's like 1 year ago, you're in the exact same position and you've survived another year.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. Like you're still breathing.
Yeah.
And I just remind myself that time, like sometimes that like I was feeling this last year, fearing that I was going to self-destruct in a week. And then see you later, I'm still here.
Isn't that funny that we think about that, hey? Or someone actually said to me one day, when we look back in the past, we will smile about the moment that we thought was so detrimental, or like we'll just smile about that moment that we thought, holy shit, I'm at my lowest. But you'll look back on it and you'll be like, I got past that. I survived it. I'm here today. And honestly, you're probably going to be like still much the same person. Like it's just not going to matter, man. Like you just have to just take it a day at a time and get through the shit.
And I think, again, like told myself that if I'm here, I'll be happy, and I'm here and I'm not happy because I want the next thing. And I feel like
it's the Chris Williamson quote. Hey, it's like you
said you'd be happy,
yeah,
but you're not.
Yeah, you've achieved things that you said would make you happy, but you're not. Yeah.
I feel like we're just always going to have that. And that's why I've been trying to remove materialism out of my life so much and purely just put my happiness in the people that surround me.
What's, I know I've spoken about this a lot recently, but what is your like goal? Like what, you don't talk about materialistic things now. So what do you actually want in life?
Family, travel, food. Like when I say food, I'm talking be able to live purely organic. And when I say organic, to go in more depth, like be able to grow my own food on a farm that I can afford, on a farm with a nice house.
Off
like,
grid, baby.
That's what, period, bro. I feel like the worst thing for me growing up is I wanted to be famous for so bad.
I think everybody does it at one point, bro. Everyone thinks like it'd just be so easy to just do that. Or like they have an easy life because they do that. Or like it's easy because they have that. Yeah.
I've just realized that I've been, besides like business and podcasting, I've been off socials for 14 months now, bro. And it's the most probably peace I've had.
Yeah, 100%.
In a category of its own. Not saying that I've been peaceful the whole time because there's other stresses in my life, but in the category of like status and thinking what other people think of me, like that doesn't bother me because I don't post what I do other than my work and podcasts I do with people.
Yeah.
So I'm already just like eliminating a problem that I once faced before because I just put myself in that arena for no reason.
Yeah.
Like we post photos and everyone has it. We're all triggered by it. See how many likes you have on that post. It's purposely built like that.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Social media web apps are designed to look like a casino machine or the pokie machine.
Yeah, true.
The scrolling effect.
I actually never seen that, but yeah, I literally.
Now you think about it, it's like a pokie machine.
Yeah.
Which is why the pokie machines in WA go sideways because
True.
I think it restricts the amount of stimulus anyway.
Interesting.
But I feel like, and again, this comes back to just being blessed with the people I have in my life now purely from the church. And, Matty Martin, Father Ashwin, which we both know, they were massive to me in that sense of just, I overthink a lot deeply. And I think everyone does.
Yeah.
And we all would tell ourselves like, no, I would think the most. For some time, it's funny, we say we don't want to overthink, but we make a competition of it. Who overthinks the most? Anyway, I overthink a lot of things sometimes. And one thing was the purpose of life. Like if it's not having the nice car or having the big house or, having all the likes and followers in the world, then what is it? And I was talking to Maddie and Ash and they just said it's about loving people, bro.
Yeah.
And since I've been doing that, it's the most fulfilled I've ever felt.
That's good, man.
Even though there's times of, you want to make it. But I feel like I've been able to slowly modify that over the past 3 months, man. That's another thing I'm working up to. Like, if for some reason we have this idea that it takes 1 year to change our mindset or to change our identity, like you can change it tomorrow morning if you truly want to. And another eye opener to me was there's laws, but there isn't rules about how to live your life. And I feel like being in a job for me or being in a school system that told you had to get an apprenticeship or uni degree.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're a failure. Then get an apprenticeship and talent. Like, these are the only routes you can take after you finish your apprenticeship if you trade.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just poison for the mind. And then something I struggled with for so long was understanding that you can just fucking do whatever you can live in the fucking Amazon if you want, man.
You can do whatever you want, man.
You can just live in the Amazon. You can live in Antarctica. You can live in a fucking desert if you want to.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing stopping you.
No. It's just, like you just have to have something to pay that lifestyle. But I mean, if you want to live off the land, like 100%, but like you do have to have something to fund the lifestyle you want to live.
I went extremely off topic there, but yeah, what I want in life is just a beautiful family, travel the whole world, and literally live on a farm, man, near a beach where I can surf at, a home that's quiet.
Yeah.
And
I think I keep coming back to all I want is a white house, a white, bright, fun, energetic house and the smell of fresh laundry.
Yeah.
Like,
I love the fresh laundry.
Just like, it's just a nice smelling white house, man, with like people who I love in there. That's all that I want. Like, I'm just gonna say this, but do I want to be able to go and do what I want when I want? Yes. Like, do I want to be able to have that fun, those funds and that money to be able to do what I want? Yes. But like, is it the be all and end all? No. Do I want to keep pushing to try and get there? Yes, 100%, because it's something that I've always looked at and been like, I want that, or like, I want that car. I mean, like, will I get it? Like, who knows? Is it the be all and end all? No. Like I said, I actually had a chat with my neighbor who owns a big gym company. And I was like, Jamie, do like, are you just content just like driving around in your 200 series cruiser? And he's like, yeah, man, I fucking love it. He's like, it's comfy, it's practical for me. And he's like, man, I could have a GT3 in the front driveway tomorrow. He's like, I could have a Porsche, like a GT3, like every boy's like dream car. And he goes, what for? And he said, he's like, the moment that I stopped trying to pursue trying to go for the monetary and the materialistic things, he's like, the moment where I just started to not give a fuck about the money and just do it because I wanted to do it is the moment where it all sort of went kaput for me. And he's like, that's when I made the most money, when I wasn't trying to make money. Which is like crazy, man, to think that, yeah, someone who lives in Mermaid Beach who just bought a $3 million house is just like, yeah, just doesn't really matter, man. Just do, like, if you actually love what you do, and I think that comes back to enjoying the journey. If you just enjoy the journey and you are doing things right, and yeah, I think you just all work out.
That's just quantum physics, bro. And what I mean by like that, I might get a bit crazy on you right now. But there is this guy I've been watching online. I think I did send you the link to one of his videos.
Yeah, you did. The guy with the do-rag and the glasses.
Do-rag and the glasses. Yeah. He talks about how picture yourself on the left, you, and then on the right is your desired reality. Yeah. And the more of a desire, which is the middleman, you have, or the more of a need you need, that the greater the space you create between yourself and that desired reality.
I think that's actually in everything in life. Like you look at even like relating that to females as well. Like if you desire it too much, you're like, yeah, I want this too much. Like it usually just finds a way to like sandwich in between.
Another perfect one is when, you know, like the meme. I loved when Inspired Unemployed did this. It was the video where it's like when you're single, going up to girls. Yeah. And everyone's like, yeah, telling you like piss off. And then you get a girlfriend and because you don't need it anymore because you have the girl, and then all of a sudden everyone finds you attractive.
Yeah, it's funny, hey. That's actually something I experienced. It was actually so funny. I've been a relationship person for like a large stint, or like obviously I just talk to people, or like I don't date for fun. I don't like entertain people for fun. It actually happened to me when I was with my previous girlfriend. It got to a point where for like 3 months I was single, or 3 or 4 months I was single. Like before, I'd say honestly like 20 months I was really single, because I'd probably situationshipped my last relationship before that for way too long. But yeah, bro, the same thing happened. It was like you just started working on you. I worked on myself, like got a girlfriend, and then it was just like out of the blue, you just start having people like message you, follow you, and like all this stuff. And you're like, why does this happen? But it's just something that no one will ever know. But it's literally back to that quantum physics, or whatever you want to call it. Like the desired reality.
My favorite perspective or way I've gone about life, which is when I felt again when everything started coming to me, was I think I can't remember, I'm not sure which one's which, if it's you refer to it as a metaphor or an analogy, something I need to read on. But the idea of, well, the analogy anyway, if I say it like that, of, you know, when you chase butterflies, you scare them away. Instead of chasing butterflies, just focus on growing a beautiful garden.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we call that an analogy. I think it's an analogy. But yeah, I understand 100%.
Period, bro. Like,
I think that's with everything, man. Like business, relationships, family. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for everything. Just like, and just be happy. Like going back to the analogy, like just be happy with what you're growing.
And I think just accepting too that, you know, the 3 generations, no one's going to remember you.
Man, that is actually, I was thinking about that again last night. I was like, holy shit. Yeah, because I remember we spoke yesterday, and it was like no one really knows their great grandfathers or their great great grandfathers, and it's like,
that's your blood.
Yeah, bro. And I don't know a single one of them. And it's like, yeah, Hamosi says like in 100 years, no one's going to remember who the richest person was. Like no one's going to care. Like, or Gary Vee also says that he's just like, everyone's gonna be dead in fucking 50 years, man. Just fucking live your life. Like, just go out there and fucking have a chop.
I think the other thing too, another great meme, which is just the best to actually look at from a mature perspective, is where it's your house and then zooms out to your town, zooms out to your country, the planet, the galaxy, universe, and it's just
Crazy,
like, bro. And then even like look into, I think it's metaphysics or quantum physics again, and like the idea, I think it's both like Stephen Hawking and Einstein believe that there's just like the multi-universe idea, like you see in Spider-Man, the idea of there's multiple universes of different timelines. Well, I think Einstein doesn't even believe in time. Crazy shit. This is what I mean when I say I overthink. I just go too deep on shit. And sometimes I trip people out.
Bro, I've actually never spoke about it before. So like, I don't have, like, honestly, if I'm not educated on that topic, like I'm not going to talk about it. But
that's fair play.
Like that you just saying that is just like mind boggling. It's like someone does not believe in time.
It is crazy, yeah. And well, even going deeper again, like the idea of the Matrix, like the actual movie with like Neo and obviously Keanu Reeves, like who knows if that's real or not? Because there's now people going out there like scientists believing that's real, and it's just like, what is real? And I think at the end of the day, like as stupid as this may all sound, it just comes back to like just fucking do what you want to do.
Oh, bloody oath, man! Like I just literally just take the leap, bro.
Yeah, you don't need to know all this shit.
Nah, you don't. You'll just work it out as you go, and that's another thing, man. The more you get into this shit, or like the more you start your own thing, the more you talk the talk, walk the walk, the more you just go like, I don't think anyone knows what the fuck they're doing.
I know for a fact the more I learn and read, the more I realize I know fucking nothing.
Yeah. I'm not a big reader, man, like, but if you're aware of, and you can read stuff, or like you read people and environments, you go, holy shit, no one really knows what they're talking about here. Especially sales, like it's fucking people selling things to other people, man. It's just like, it's like a prime example. It's like they don't need it, nor do they probably want it, but they end up doing it. Like, you know what I mean?
And that comes back to even like materialistic things, like people buying shit they don't need. And I'm about to go crazy again, but like the idea of shopping is purely designed around the idea of stimulating your dopamine system. Like people are addicted to buying.
Yeah, 100%.
And a lot of people can relate to this.
Keep clicking. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people relate to this. As soon as you buy something, you regret it.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
Or as soon as you walk out that store and didn't buy that shirt, the next day, like, fuck, I wish I bought that shirt.
Man,
or you'll go back and buy that shirt and you'll regret it.
I get that feeling going to the grocery shops and I see the total. I'm like, fuck, man, why does this suck so much?
Wait, you see the what?
I see the total on the grocery screen. I'm like, oh. Like, man, my wardrobe has been the same for probably 2 years.
It doesn't need to change though.
Not even kidding. Like,
because it's clean, it's basic.
Yeah, basic. That, bro, all I wear is basics. Like,
that's the cleanest shit though.
Yeah.
I reckon clean clothing without any brand, like there's some gangster branded clothing out there, but I think wearing what we're both wearing right now,
it's just so easy, man. 100%.
Decision making is minimal.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right, black shirt, white pants, go. Living on the Gold Coast.
Hold up, just let me have air out.
Air out, bro.
I don't feel myself. I just don't want to be sweating on the screen, eh? I just don't want to be sweating on the camera. Yeah. All right. Wipe the sweat off the brow, baby. Let's go. All right.
Living on the Gold Coast, something I've come to realize, and I want to ask you more about, is as much as there's many pros of living there, there's a lot of cons that a lot of people are, you could say, are blinded to. Do you think you can go into detail of your experience of what your cons are anyway? Because I think I will resonate with a few of yours, and I think you'll resonate with mine.
I think going back to being blessed, man, I'm very, very blessed to live where I live. very blessed that I had the opportunity to move when I did, and for my living expenses to be what they are right now. I probably have the cheapest rent in Gold Coast. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's ridiculous. The cons for Gold Coast then would obviously be like, if you are there and you are working a job and you're living week to week, like, you're probably not going to have an enjoyable life, or your life is going to be very
paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, it will be. And like, you can make your life look good and you can make your life look
happy and joyful.
Yeah, but most of these people, I know like a lot of people, like, it isn't like that for them. And even people that I thought, which they were killing it, like, I later came to find out that it's like not like that at all, which is really crazy, especially because, yeah, you look at some Instagram people and you're like, oh, they must be killing it. But like, really, they're not. I mean, that's probably like one of the cons. Honestly, man, just like traffic and shit, like, really annoys me. Come back to Gladstone, like, get anywhere from A to B in like 10 minutes, which is sick. But I mean, traffic. But the other cons is, I mean, that I know I spoke at the start about like, I've been blessed with a lot of opportunity, and there is a lot of opportunity down there. But I still think that there are a lot of people down there, unfortunately, that will take you for a ride if you aren't aware of who you're dealing with and that sort of thing too. Like, there's a lot of, I mean, I wouldn't say sketchy, but there's like a lot of people down there that are living lives that, like, I just don't think that I don't know. Like, for me, it's not. Like, they're just living this life with like a big picture and everything, but realistically, they just don't have anything. And like, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. Like, you can live your life however you want to live. But yeah, I think just getting in bed with the wrong people because of the perception that you get from them. So I don't know, just be precautious in who you talk to and who you are giving your energy to, and like what they are doing with it. Or yeah, I think actually, bit of a tangent here as well, but when you stop drinking and stop like talking so much shit and actually really sit contently with yourself again, like in an older age, I think you start to realize that you only really do have like the 1, 2, 3 friends that will come to your, number one, like come to your aid, like number two, that you can trust your life with. And then like other things such as like you can call them anytime, or they won't pressure you into like trying to do something you're not. And that you start to just see real, genuine, authentic people when you take that step back. And I think for me, not drinking and not being out in the piss all the time and running into people who are also intoxicated and just talking shit, like, I feel like I've got so much more out of life down there now that I've stopped doing it.
It's true. Like 80% of human conversation is negative.
Mm.
And I remember telling Julie Long that, I think he came back to me, he's like, bro, like ever since he said that, because it's a situation where you don't notice it until someone informs you about it, and then you see it everywhere. Like, for example, someone could tell you about, you know, when you drive on the road, do you see this? And you're like, I've never seen that before in my life.
Yeah.
And then they tell you that, and then you see it every time you're on the road.
Yeah.
And it's that, once I told him that happened to him, he's like, bro, ever since you told me that, every conversation in now is purely like almost to the percent, like 80% just negative. Like 20% of the conversations at the start, it's greetings and how's your morning? And then it's just straight into, and it's not necessarily like talking about other people, but there's always a topic that's just 80% negative. And I feel like that's probably why my life, I feel, has been a lot more peaceful, because if 80% of conversation is negative, then so would be social media and news threads, like the news, mainstream media. Like, if you're still watching it, like, turn that shit off. Like, as much as the laugh it is, like, that shit is damaging, bro.
Mom and dad have it on. I was like to dad, I was like, why are you watching this shit? I was just like, just go do your own research. Or like, I feel like you're getting brainwashed watching what you're watching.
I just honestly believe it turns your brain to mush. Like not literally, but it probably does in a way, in a spiritual sense maybe. It just mushes your brain. It's distractions are another thing too. Like obviously you've eliminated drinking, which is a distraction. What other distractions do you feel you've removed that have enabled you to open your mindset?
I wouldn't really say like I've eliminated distraction, like a lot of distractions other than drinking. I think, yeah, obviously like drinking is the biggest one, but also just trying to phase out like any bad habits that I know that I've had in the past. Like if I know that I've had a bad habit in the past, like I really, really, really try and not let that habit take over again. Yeah, I've like, without going into too much detail, like I've like monetary things, like I've hit the reset button on my life a few times just from doing dumb shit with my money. But it's like, like cut your bad habits out. Another big thing, bro, is like just, I wouldn't say cutting bad habits out, but just like sticking and just like getting your everyday essentials right. Like I said before, just like working out, eating well, getting outside, going to the gym. It's about like double down on those things and like make sure you're like your 1%ers are right. I actually was really blessed to have someone in my life for like the past, what is like a fair chunk of this year. But yeah, like the perspective that I gained from that person and the lessons that I learned were like really good. And that's something that she always mentioned was like, just get your 1%ers right. She's like, hey, your 1%ers are absolutely cooked. Like you're not doing this. She's like, you're not sleeping, you're not eating, you're not exercising, you're not being active, you're like moping around. She's like, all right, you need to fix these first staple things before you can, like you need to basically just need to you need a foundation, man. And it's like those things are the foundation for like everyday life. And it's like, if you don't have that, then it's like, okay. But in terms of bad habits, in terms of things that I have cut out, like drinking, obviously, like I said, it's been like such a huge one for me, and getting away from the alcohol scene and just getting away from nonsense, man. Has like, yeah, is it boring? Yes. Like, do you get bored on Saturday night, Friday night? Yes. But would I change it right now? Probably not, to be honest. I don't have any part of me that goes like, let's go get fucked up. Let's go get blackout drunk. Let's go. Like, man, don't get me wrong. There's nothing funner than going out with the boys, having a couple of beers, talking a bit of shit. There's nothing funner than that. Or getting a carton of beers, sitting on the front lawn and just like with your mates that you actually enjoy being around. Like that is so fun. But it's like when you start to like lose that control in your brain is where it like really becomes detrimental to you. And like, I know a few people that get to that point and just can't stop themselves from taking that next step, or like can't stop themselves from drinking, or they can't stop themselves from going, hey, let's get a bag, or like, and then everything just gets blown out of proportion. And then you look back and you're like, well, why? Like what was this for? Like, why did it even happen? Like, why did it occur? Like, I now feel shit for no reason, just to feel good for a few hours. But yeah, that's drinking 100% biggest thing that I've sort of cut out. And I feel like it's really reshaped my mind, especially now that I'm a bit older. So like 25, almost 26, I feel like it's really like shaped my mind. And it's going to propel me in the right direction for the future.
I call it the Peter Pan stage, which I feel like everyone picks up on it. But if you don't, it's kind of like the idea of Peter Pan never wants to grow up.
Yeah.
And he always just wants to drink, party, the other stuff that everyone knows, but you just don't say it. But everyone knows, everyone's doing it. Like you can go into a festival and everyone's having more than just a couple of sips of alcohol. It's just like, you just got to get through that stage of your life and put it behind you. I feel like he can still maybe have a send, like you said, here and there. Again, that's not desiring me at all. I don't have any desire to do that like yourself. But I feel like people just get stuck in that for their whole lives. And I know those people because I've worked with the 50-year-old that
drinks every
still
day.
Just gets home and the first thing he does is crack a 4X.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck.
It's just, I don't think it would ever be the lifestyle for me, man. Especially when you start to focus on 100%, don't get me wrong. You can be extremely fit, and there's like boys on Instagram that say this all the time. Like, you can be fit, you can do both. Like, it is all about balance. But like until you've actually tried it and eliminated it, and you go, holy shit, like there's actually a life without it. Like, I don't think you'll ever know. And I think that just going on to like something that really did help me at the start to really get away from it, was setting myself a period and going, okay, I want to do sober for this many months. And I wrote the day, and I wrote 1 on the whiteboard. And then every day, because I had to physically cross it off, it felt like rewarding for me. That was like my little trick to really get going. And then obviously I do have my close friends on Instagram is like a little support network. And it's just all the boys and like all people who I think will believe in me or like support what I do. So I'll share it with them and be like 30 days sober. And then like, it feels good. You take a photo of it. You're like, shit, yeah, 30 days. It's like, all right, 31 days, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So it rolls over to 60 and like 60 days sober. Holy shit, that's 2 months. And because like I'm physically crossing it off every day and writing it, I don't know, it was like this little reward system in my brain until I got to 90 days. And then, I did the 90 days sober, and then I absolutely got written off. Like, I never want to feel like that again. And I just got to that point where I was like, I was out of control. Like, I blacked out for 6 hours. I was still walking around and just like on drugs, drinking. After 90 days of just sort of felt that I just wiped out everything I did. And that's where I just made the conscious decision. I'm like, I don't want to drink anymore. I think everyone does have that pop moment or whatever. But yeah, after that I was like, no, I don't want to drink. No beers. No, it was coming up to Christmas time, like no beers, no New Year's. New Year's I sat at home and played Mario this year, bro.
Nothing wrong with Mario.
Yeah, but like I was just not doing much, man. And like, is it boring at the start? Yeah, but do you learn to accept it? Yes. And you just learn to accept just like being your sober self.
I feel like what I did in the start when it comes to like the Saturday nights, just go to sleep because you wake up and it's too late to everyone's home. You know what I mean? Even if you wake up at like 4, like you're not going to pull up at the club at 4 in the morning. Like as like, I know it is laugh, but like seriously, like if you want to stop yourself from, this is like to someone who may be still listening, I'm sure there may be that one person, but like just go to sleep, whether it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Just remove yourself.
You just wake up and
remove yourself from the situation, man. And like if going to sleep removes you from that situation, then it's like turn your phone off. Like it's like I just feel as if it's just got such a grip on some people. It's like this constant baggage on them. For me, I felt like I could just chop it off straight away. Which I don't know if that's a mindset thing or if it's don't really know what it was, but I felt that I could just chop it straight away and be like, I'm done with this. But yeah, I definitely know what you, like I felt that though. A few weekends ago, I was in bed at 7 o'clock, like 7:30 on Saturday night. I was watching like Netflix and I was like, sweet, asleep by 9, woke up 5:30 Sunday morning. I was like, it's just another day.
There's a close mate of mine that did just drink every weekend, and I didn't hear this from him. I heard this from another mate, but he had probably like the first Saturday night at home in a long time, woke up sober, not hungover. And I just wonder how many people actually know what it's like to wake up Sunday morning clean on a weekend. Like,
yeah,
it's such a, like, I don't know any different now, but it's a feeling that I feel like people just don't even know it's real, that like going for a walk, coffee.
I mean,
sun's out.
Yeah, I think it's important though to also note, like, there's no right or wrong way to live your life, and this is just an opinion that we have. But like, until you actually try it, man, like, you're not gonna see that there's any difference in your life. Like, you're not gonna know that there is any different to getting maggot on a Saturday night, and your bank account loves you for it. That's another thing. Like, how many times have you been pissed buying cocktails, like buying
espresso martinis,
buying espressos, buying 10 vodka sodas, you know what I mean? Just $100 transactions just over and over and over. It's just like, why am I doing this? But yeah.
It scares me that people even live a life without just basic health, eh? It does scare me. And like, it's hard for me not to like blow my trumpet on this subject because I was genetically blessed, but
yeah.
Fuck, I've had a 6-pack for as long as I can remember, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know any different.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have realizations now. I even see people like just living on the street, man. I'm like, fuck, like that can be me, man. Because I do have a belief that we are only who we are because of our experiences. Period.
I think, just to touch on that really quick, every consequence has led you to where you are right now, even though if it's a negative consequence or a positive consequence. Like every action that you've taken has led you right to this moment in your life.
Yep. Yeah. Period, bro. And like, and to follow on with that, like, I was like, see the guy on the street, like that could be me. Just imagine if I was born in his position, I would have gone through the exact same experiences as him. So anyone, like all these influencers, or what do you want to call them online, they go like, boy, what are you doing? Like, live on the street wearing that. Like, if I was you, I'd be doing this, this, this. And like, no, you wouldn't. Because you would have gone through the exact same experiences as him and been in that same situation, which is why I feel like I'm so blessed, and why I have at times like moments when I'm driving like, fuck, I'm a piece of shit. Like, I take this life for granted so much. Like, people don't even have fucking a roof, man.
Yeah.
Or food.
Yeah.
It's
that's something that I've been doing lately. When I think I have a shit time, I put my runners on, man, chuck some tunes in, go run along the beach, and I look at this spot that I live, and I sit at the end of the deck, I look left, I look right, it's just beachfront, it's just beautiful, and I go, holy fuck, like I'm living someone's dream right now.
Yeah, that skyline's pretty hard to beat, eh?
Yeah, I think it comes with awareness though, man. And when, like, you do have to be aware, and like, I don't practice gratitude or anything really. Like, I don't say like, oh, I'm so grateful for this today or that. But when you're aware of your surroundings and like the opportunities, like we spoke about before, and just being a genuinely good person, like those thoughts just come to you naturally. And you're just like, I'm just really blessed, or like, I'm grateful for this, or like, I'm living someone's dream, or people would kill to be in the spot that I'm in right now. Like, man, you think about the poverty and everything in the world, and then you look, I've got clean water, I've got running water, I've got somewhere to sleep. Like, do I want it all? Like, still yes. But
it's hard, eh?
Yeah.
Again, this conversation with Maddie, because I talked to him a lot about wealth and how it plays a role in God's kingdom. And he asked me why I want to do it. I tell him for the same reasons as you. You can't help people without money, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You can be a beautiful soul, but that only does so much.
100%.
Like, when someone's struggling to put food in their kids' mouths, like, just being a beautiful person is not going to get across the line.
Yeah.
Like, you need money.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell him.
I think I actually spoke to Father Ashwin about this, about like the purpose in life. When I was going through a really hard time, he spent like a 40-minute conversation with me. And he said that when everyone comes to the kingdom, like, they all bring their fruits and put it all into like the same basket. And it says some people will bring one, some people will bring a whole like orchid.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, it all gets put into that basket, and then you enter the kingdom of heaven. So when you think about that, you're like, shit. Like, if you live your life by that, then it's like, you don't really need much. But I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, I guess it does come back to what you want. Like we spoke about, if you want to help people, you can't help people with nothing.
If you were to give someone some words of wisdom, no matter the age, gender, where they are in life, but they just need something to get them through to that next day, what would you tell them?
Jeez, man, there's probably words of advice for myself right now. Something that I've really resonated with lately is when your back's against the wall, the only direction is forward. That's something that I've really found, like I've really resonated with in life recently, or like I've told a few people this. Like when you're at a low point, all you can do is go forward. Like you can't really get any lower when you're at a low point, bro. When something happens in your life, or someone says they don't want to talk to you, or like a business opportunity comes up and like it fizzles out, it's like all you can do is go forward. Just like keep going forward. No matter like how you feel, just keep moving in a forward direction slowly.
Appreciate time, bro.
It's all good, man. No, it's good. It's good. I feel like could chat for ages, and something that just really quickly, something to touch on as well. Like I know I've had experiences and I can talk on experiences. Like, am I perfect? No. Like, will I be perfect in the future? No. Like, I think I have enough humility to sit back and go, people won't agree with some of the stuff that I have said, but like, it's still good to share your opinions and make talking conversation, or share experiences about how you see life. Yeah.
Now you say that we'll just add just purely like, look at the people you surround yourself with, and if you're not where you are, it's probably because who's around you currently.
Yeah.
And you find that as soon as you switch that up, things just start to change magically.
100%, man.
But it's not magic. It's just, it's literally.
Yeah, it ain't rocket
it's quantum
science,
physics. But literally, like, without saying it's quantum physics, that's just reality.
Yeah.
Like, literally. I mean, Andrew Tate said the best. Not that I like saying his name, but he did say it the best, where if you hang around with 5 people own an ice cream store,
yeah,
after 1 year, you're going to know how to run a fucking ice cream store pretty well.
100%, bro. We ain't here to make ice cream, bro. I ain't trying to make ice cream. I ain't trying to run an ice cream shop.
He said that. It's like, if you want to make people happy, just fucking sell ice cream.
Yeah. Anyway.
Appreciate your time again, brother.
Sweet, man. Nah, it's good to chat. Schedule in for the next 18 months. See where we're at.
Oh, let's do it. Thank you, bro.